Hello and welcome back to Project Mud Type. You join us here at This Is Your Garage, episode 5, the last episode of the build of Floyd. What are we going to be doing today, Gareth?
We're going to do a quick bit on the electric, so we're going to fit those two, join them up to the main light, and we're going to fit another 2 spotlights to this beautiful bull bar. Catch it!
So this bull bar, as you may remember, we picked up in America from a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's going to go on. We're going to weld the rear diff. We're going to be doing a sump guard. So what do you say we go and do this?
So the plan today is to remove Floyd's front bumper for more aggression and better approach angle, and to also allow us to fit the bull bar we picked up in an American junkyard a few days ago. Spotlights will also be fitted, as will the all-important sump guard. At the rear, we're going to weld the diff, which means dropping it out, opening it up and welding impenetrable plates inside. But before all of that...
Gareth, I have a present for you.
Oh God, what is it now?
You remember you did this really nice hole for the snorkel, right? Well, we're no longer using it, so I have this lovely little sticker that we're gonna be putting on because, you know, I don't like a hole to ever get wasted. And then just because I know you like things to be done really properly, it's going to be put on a little bit wonky.
Oh God.
There you go. So,
and there's air bubbles
there's loads
in
of
it
bubbles.
as well.
You're welcome. First one to get it through
Gets a steak.
gets a steak.
From the other one.
From the other one.
Okay.
Right, let's get on with the build. We obviously know that the car is called Floyd, so we now have a lovely fetching nameplate. I'm going to write on this with a felt tip, and then we're going to weld Floyd's name on here.
This being pretty much our first time welding properly, Adam from Volks Techniks advises us to practice on the underside of Floyd's nameplate. As you can see, we're not quitting our day jobs just yet.
Move slower.
Okay.
Yeah, as I said, not great. But we keep practicing until Adam is happy for us to have a crack at Floyd's name.
That's pretty good going, I'm happy with that. I can weld now as well, I can add that to my repertoire. And the crowd go wild! Woo! Yeah! Right, Gareth, now you're up. Don't mess it up. It does look good though, when you have it like that. That looks really cool.
With Floyd's nameplate now done, it was time to get him in the air.
While we've been away, Adam from Volks Techniks has been working on the sump guard. You can see Gareth is getting started on the diff removal at the moment. But before we do that, Adam, what have you done? And you've got some plans here as well.
So we came up with the idea of the same 25 by 25 box section that we made the roof rack out of. We had some left over. Make a frame the same shape as the subframe, back as far as the end of the sump so that you can still gain access to things if you need to. The plan now is to make a removable steel sheet that will bolt up to these riv nuts. Again, by making it removable, you'll be able to get to anything should you need to. And then this has just been welded to the subframe. This is a permanent fixture, not going to go anywhere.
So it will be looking like that.
Like that. Sits
Very
like
soon.
That.
Let's get to it.
As we all know, Alex gifts us with some rusty animals that normally we snap or break and then get really angry over. But these are coming out like a dream. Look at that. Well done, Alex.
What, for buying an awesome car?
Yeah, actually, this car's way better than the Mazda. So we've sort of unloosened these bolts which hold the drive shaft to the input of the diff, and we reckon that this mount here to the subframe needs taking off, and that'll obviously separate the back end of the diff from that. And there's one over here, so there's a mount over here. So we're going to take that off, and there's one this side as well. So 3 of them, pull that off, and it should free up the differential for us.
Would
to
it be
start
loads
thinking
of-
about how we pull it out.
Would it be loads of banter if this bolt snapped?
Have you sprayed it up?
I thought you sprayed it up. You
No,
said
I
you
said I
sprayed it
hadn't
up.
sprayed that one up. Jesus.
You
Where's the
literally
spray?
had 7 jobs.
So Gareth detaches the prop shaft from the diff, while I set about loosening the control arms, which will give us space to take out the drive shafts.
The whole reason why we want to weld this diff together, as you can see, I've held this captive so that's not spinning. And I can spin one wheel and the other one just freely spins. So with less articulation on this car, if one wheel goes up in the air and the other one is locked into a piece of mud, then the one up in the air, all the power will probably transfer to it, because I don't think the electrical diff system in this is all that clever. So we're hoping that most of the traction can be transferred to both wheels equally, which will mess up our turning radius and it'll also cause the car to drift a lot, but at least off-road we should have a lot more traction with it. Shock it. Nice. Before we get too carried away, we're going to start taking the diff oil out, because we really don't want to start removing these half shafts and then have sloppy oil dripping all over our faces and arms and hands and legs. I literally can't see a thing. Give us
Look
a
at
shine,
this.
give us a shine.
Right, I got a Nebo Redline Blast. And actually, we sell these in the car throttle shop. And yeah, super sturdy, as you can see. And you can, sorry, I'm not helping much
still
here, am
can't
I?
see, yeah.
Look at that, you can really go intense.
Does it do an emergency flash?
Oh my God.
my God.
Holy,
that-
look at that. That's amazing.
It's not helping though.
But that's really cool. Is that really useful?
Yeah, that's really useful. I can just see big blue blotches everywhere.
Lucky for you, I have another torch.
Oh, I want to see this
Wait,
one.
I want to do.
Oh wow, this has got a strip LED in it.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's got red.
So magnetic.
I really wish I hadn't stared into that.
Look at that. It's a work light wherever you want to go.
It's not bad,
And
is it?
if you're feeling a bit frisky and you want to play a bit of Roxanne. Roxanne, you don't have to sell your body tonight.
I want it.
And for my next trick, we have another Nebo, the Larry Tilt. And the reason they call it Larry Tilt, I assume, is because Larry tilts like that. There you go. We've got our own little lighting studio.
Can I swivel it round?
You do whatever you like. Larry likes to tilt.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, I can see
That's
that
actually pretty cool. We have harnessed the power of the sun in 1, 2, and 3 torches. So remember, guys, you can get these 3 torches in the car throttle shop. They're super, super useful if you work on your car, and they're super awesome to have in your car in case you ever break down. They're like a good emergency light as well. Do you remember last time we did a diff on Phil, the MX-5? And we didn't have one of these.
No.
And we had to hold it up. I still feel the pain of my shoulders burning. But when you're standing on tiptoes as well,
Oh yeah, Jesus.
because I'm quite short, you know, I'm only 6'3".
Like a dream. Oh yeah, you might want to watch that.
Watch your
That
head.
was so close.
So the diff is now out. All we need to do is open up the case, clean everything out as good as possible, and then get to welding. Yes! Wow.
There you go.
Oh, that smells disgusting.
So what we intend on doing is getting a rectangular piece of metal and placing it in there so it fits between all these gears, and then just absolutely pouring weld into the poor thing. So it locks that side, and then if we rotate it round and round and round, and same again this side. So we think that'll be a lot better than just welding, because there's only a small section that's a point of contact. So by putting a plate in there, I think we should have it pretty secure, and we hope it doesn't break, because if that comes loose, it will eat itself.
Game over.
Yeah.
We then drain the diff of its disgusting old oil before taking it to Biffa next door to use their epic heated pressure washer to get rid of years of grime, gunk and oil. With it now looking like new, we leave it for a few minutes and get started removing Floyd's front bumper. With that off and the diff looking forward to lock life, it was time to crack on. Spot welds in place, Adam measures up and starts cutting the plates that will be welded in.
So Adam's done a beautiful job at welding this up. You can see he's even worked the weld into all the teeth. That's a massive amount of area that you've covered in just that little space. I very much doubt that'll break through.
And while they're doing their bits, I am going to attack the wheel arches for the 3rd time. And yeah, I'm going to take no prisoners this time. I'm going to go in deep.
I think this would have been easier with snips if you just cut rather than angle grinding.
I hope everyone enjoyed that. Lovely. Don't need that. Weight saving. Right, I'm going to do some more cutting. People like that.
While I continue on my noble quest of removing everything that might catch on the wheels and muddy terrain, Adam gets started on fitting the bull bar.
That, really lucky that I made that almost exactly the same width. And you weren't even here with this. No measurements taken.
Luck is with us. They'll do nicely, won't they? I reckon that pull bar is going to bend before those.
Three days ago, this bull bar was on a Jeep in an American junkyard, and now it's on Floyd the mud type in the UK. That's very cool. Thank you very much to the American and the British Customs for letting us take this through, because without it, Floyd would not look this cool. Yes!
Bull bar done, it's now time to get our diff in place. So Gareth cleans the face of the cover, applies silicone gasket, tightens everything down and celebrates our new drift spec diff the only way Gareth knows how. And before the diff is positioned back under the car, he wisely decides to plug the diff's breather hole.
Dick at This Is Your Garage managed to find us a little grommet and a ball bearing. So what we're going to do is cap this little hole, this little breather holes. This is where I push the grommet all the way through, and we have a bit of ball bearing lying around the differential bit.
Please don't do that.
That's it.
Nice.
So that breather's no longer breathing.
So here's something cool. You turn one wheel and the other one turns in the same direction, which means that yes, the welded diff is working nicely, whereas before you turn this one in clockwise motion and that would go anti-clockwise.
Job done.
Job done. I mean, we haven't actually driven it,
I think
on the ground yet. It should be skipping quite a lot when we're going backwards. It should be
around each corner.
In case you missed that, here it is again.
It feels like I've done this before.
yes.
That was actually easier than taking it off.
So easy. So, bull bar is in. The diff, the welded diff is in. Sump, guard, mount is already in. So what we need to do now is go find some steel, cut it up, and drill it in. And then Floyd's underbelly will be protected.
Adam and I head back to A.W. Grace & Son to cut the steel we'll be using for the sump guard. Once cut, holes are punched into the plate so we can easily screw it to the guard frame later on. With Floyd really starting to come together, it's now time to weld his nameplate into position and brace the bull bar with a piece of steel.
Floyd, everybody!
Yay!
This is the end of an era.
End of a beautiful relationship. Oh! This is Adam from Volks Techniks, everyone, who've created a monster.
You've created a monster.
You've helped create a monster. Look at that. That is, oh, it's like you can't even feel any contours. It's like it was just grafted on there by the gods. The welding gods. That's me.
Right, it's been ages. The car's at a decent level that I don't have to climb on the bonnet. So we're gonna start soldering these up. So I'm gonna join these in parallel with each other, run them down, I don't know which side, either side, doesn't really matter. And then bring them into the front of the car and wire them up to the main bright beam. Stick some flux on, help the solder flow. So pink's gonna be positive, obviously. Pink's a beautiful color, don't you think, Alex?
Oh, big time, big fan.
And then black will be our negative. Like this car was designed to have this wire shoved in it. So I've decided that I'm going to pull out the headlight because there's not a great deal of space in here and I'll probably just land up melting my fingers.
I am changing out the old 25mm Direnza spacers for 30mm Direnza spacers. I emailed Jim from Direnza and I said, oh, it's still hitting the strut. And he was like, oh, we have 30s. Do you want them? I was like, yeah! Just gonna swap those bad boys out. It fits really snugly. Right, Gareth? It's a really snug fit.
That's not really fitting. It's more like just ramming it in and it being on a prayer.
Oh. We ram it. All I do is unscrew, screw together. This is the old 25mm, which you can see is quite meaty already.
With my 30mm Direnza spacers now in place, it's time for me to install our other junkyard find, the wing mirror glass from American Floyd.
There you go. Simple. How do you take these little buggers out? Ow, you. Oh, look at that. It's like it was meant to be. Oh no, that's different. Why are you fighting with me? It's just different. You know, American, they get a lot more movement in their mirrors than us. So that's definitely not in, is it? Must be, you know, completely different. Like metric, imperial, all that sort of thing, yeah? Why is this now flopping about? Why is this not going in? Job done. The light bars have been put into place and now I am just going to see if we can put the spotlights down here. I think at more angle, then it'll be fine.
So we've wired everything in parallel, so if one of the lights does go, it won't stop the whole system from working. So what we've done down here is we've joined up the wires going to the front lights, to the wires going to the top, and then into the brights in our cluster here. We're just gonna write pink is red and black is black, and we're just gonna wire this up here so we can get these two spots working on the front of the car now. This may or may not work.
It will work.
It's gonna have to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a choice.
Pretty dirty doing it like this, but so be it. Done. Wiring 101.
Right, so now it's time for a spotlight and bar test. Hopefully you've done a good job.
Yeah, let's hope. Oh, it's not
That looks
bad.
really quite bright from outside. Good work, man. That's awesome.
Cheers, man.
With the lights installed, all that's left to do is fill the diff with oil and screw on our custom sump guard.
I know. And funny enough, they're the only ones that are cross-threading, so it's a nice way to end the build by I mean, that's not even going in. That's had it. In theory, the actual build is done. We've done a lot today, actually. We've achieved a lot.
Yeah, we've not done bad. I do enjoy how the fact that you've stripped the very last one. It's good work.
Me? Right, so the whole build is essentially done. We're going to take Floyd out for a quick drive and just make sure that there's no more rubbing, no more issues. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's all going to be good. So yeah, join us in the car. Cruise not available, low washer fluid.
No washer fluid, it should read.
I'm really hoping it. Please don't rub. Oh no, it's still catching.
That's a stake I win. Oh, it's,
Yes!
yeah, it's drift scrub.
We got a drift car. It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Seems pretty happy. All we need to do is figure out what we do with that inner arch. Because
Well, we have a look just now and probably
smack it, right? So it is the end of another day here at This Is Your Garage. This is the end of episode 5, which means that Floyd, the unlikely off-roader, is now completely done. We've got a few more teething problems to go through next week before we go to Avalanche Adventure, an off-road quarry assault course. Join us next week where we're going to get Floyd super muddy and hope to impress the whole world. I'm still waiting for Jaguar to give me a call and say, hey, I want to pay you £20,000.
I saw a missed call. Might be them.
Might be then. Let's see you next time. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. To watch more of the series, click here. And to subscribe to Car Throttle, click here.